It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. It's the Joe Show. On a sick one. On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one.
On a sick one. On a sick one. And we are back with episode 15 of the On a Sick One podcast. A little bit different right now because it is the Soberly On a Sick One podcast. I decided to make some life changes, some positive life changes. I'm 31 years old now. The partying was getting in the way of being the best Joe that I could be. Since I was about 10 years old, I would say, I've never truly been sober, right? So started smoking pot as a 10-year-old kid in the trailer park that I grew up in Michigan. The teenagers there thought it'd be funny to get a kid high, so that's how things started. And then since then, it's just like, you know, just growing up in high school and in the military, and it's just alcohol and smoking and, you know, cigarettes and just, I don't know, just unhealthy stuff. And so I was like, you know what? I want to be sober. I feel like a lot of us in life's hard. I feel like a lot of us look for vices or things that help us temporarily get through our day to day because it's fucking challenging. Life's not easy. It's very, very hard. I definitely think that being able to live a life where you're sober and you're doing healthy things like working out, eating right, waking up early, staying motivated, and not having those vices to deal with your problems and face them head on is dope. And it's definitely not the easiest thing to do. So this is the Soberly On a Sick One podcast, episode 15. It's great to be back, baby. We're at Lifestyle Studios. Big shout out to Jay. I hit Jay up. I was like, yo, I want to run the podcast back. And he was like, say less. So we got it scheduled. Big shout out to Mike Miller, Miller Built Cycles out there in Cali. Thank you so much. He's helping me out sponsoring this podcast, which is really allowing me to be able to do this in the first place. Also, huge shout out to Stinger Trailers, our brothers to the north in Canada, who make some incredibly awesome trailers. We're going to get into that a little bit more later, but huge shout out to them. Big shout out to Jay Light for having us here at Lifestyle Studios. And yeah, man, I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy. I'm feeling pretty good. There's been a lot going on, a lot of life, a lot of different things happening. A lot of people are like, Joe, where'd you go? I miss you so. Well, a couple of things. One, this show is a lot of fun for me. I love doing it. I love doing it because in my mind, if I'm helping somebody, one person, whether it's motivating them, it's making them laugh, it's pushing them to do something that they want to do, that they have a goal set. If I'm helping somebody, one person do that, or maybe there's more than that, who cares? Then I feel like I'm doing my job as a guy that has his own podcast, and I'm having fun doing it. So that's why I am going to do my best to continue the On a Sick One podcast, and it's a little bit soberly. And hey, you know what? I think it's a great way to keep the show rolling. Thank you guys for tuning back in to the On a Sick One podcast. Like I said, super stoked to be here. A little bit more on the sobriety thing. So, man, I don't even know. Like I, at one point for 3 months, got sober. And this was probably a couple of years ago. I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get sober. I don't think I was doing it because I wanted to. I think that I was doing it to try to have a better relationship. And I think that in the back of my mind, I was telling myself I wasn't ready to not drink and party and be a dumbass. But here we are, and I truly feel like I've reached a point in my life that I'm ready to just wake up in the morning early, no hangover, because I'm 31. I can't do that shit no more. Hangovers are like, I don't know about you guys, but I can't fucking do it no more, man. I am straight up a little bitch when it comes to being hungover, and it just wastes your day, and then you're just right back on the train, and you're just in this cycle of shit in the shitty pit. And I just, for myself personally, think that I'm truly committing myself to a life of sobriety, and who knows, no cap on it, taking it a day at a time. But I'm a better person. I'm a better husband. I'm a better friend. I'm a better father. I'm just a better Joe in general. So that's why I am doing it. And if you're thinking about doing it, hey, you can do it. More power to you. And if you want to party your fucking face off and drink all the time, you want to do some schlats, you want to smoke bud till you fall asleep, hey, It's all good, baby. Live your life. Do you. But just know that if you're struggling and if you're suffering and if you're doing those things to feel better, you are not going to get off that train and you are going to continue to be in a cycle of shit. And it is only going to get harder for you. I think I hit a rock bottom. That's why I just was like, nah, no more. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about it. And like I said, if I can do it, you can do it. If you want to hit me up, you want to ask me how I'm doing, or if you need some motivation to get sober, if you're thinking about doing it, hit me up. My DMs are always open. My phone's always open. Always willing to help somebody out when they're in need. All right, moving on. Let's go that way. We're going north, baby. This year has been awesome. Big shout out to Concrete Cowboys. I got to travel and do a lot of cool shit this year. Big shout out to the boys. Big shout out CJ Barham. He's been absolutely on a sick one. Thankful for him bringing us all together and creating that team with CJ, C-Bear, Tall Boy, Little Bike Life Mikey. It's been a hell of a ride this year. Big shout out Chopsky. We've had fun. You know, it's been great doing shows. We started things off. We did the fall tour. We started this year off. We did our fundraiser, and the fundraiser was awesome. That was out in California. Big shout out to Shane. We did that at his property. Awesome fundraiser to start the year off. Went to Daytona, Arizona Bike Week. Miller Built Cycles. Shout out Mike Miller Built. That was an awesome show. It started raining that show, and we didn't give a fuck. We sent the show anyways. And so if it rains sometimes, get over it and fucking do some burnouts anyways. Did that show. That was super awesome. Sac Raceway. That's like my third year doing that one. Super fun. Crushed it out there in Sacramento. CJ's hometown, so it's always good to put on out there. HPI. That was where we went next. HPI was, for me, one of the highlights of the show season this year with Concrete Cowboys. Big shout out to HPI. Big shout out to Jimmy Light and his entire team. That was an incredible experience. I know when I got the phone call, it was like, hey, Joe, we're going to Indianapolis. We're going to HPI. I've already known about HPI's bike night. It's the biggest bike night in the country, baby. So I knew that I wanted to go and help with that in any way that I could. And I think I did a pretty damn good job. I'm going to go ahead and pat myself on the back. We had a great time. Got to go to the Indy 500, which was super fucking cool. Just such a cool experience. So looking forward definitely to going back to HPI for sure. The boys went out and did some Chicago streets. You know you got to go to Chicago. You got to ride streets in Chicago. Misguided out there, putting on probably the dopest stunt ride in the country, lean back in Chirac. I have yet to make it to that. Sorry, fellas. But I will say that I did get to go there. I did get to hang out with the fellas at Misguided. I did get to go on an all-night scooter binge through Chicago with the homie Justin and Elijah Marshall. Big shout out to those motherfuckers. That was one of the craziest experiences that I've ever had. First of all, we're in Chicago, so you're in Chicago. So that's a little sketchy in itself. Definitely a different experience. I was on a Grom, started off on a Grom. I'm ripping around, I'm having a good time. And the fellas are like, hey, so like, check it out. 12 gets behind us. Don't trip. Just follow us. We got your back. Well, 12 was behind us probably like 15 times, but we still sent it, rode through Chicago till like 5 in the morning. Super awesome. I climbed on top of some old bridge. I like climbing stuff. It was super sick. Great experience out there in Chicago. If any of you ever have a chance to go to Leanback in Chirac or to go to Chicago to see the fellas at Misguided, make sure you guys go over there and check that out. Born Free, Coonley Motorsports Park. We went there in Ohio. Got to do that again with Seabear in his hometown out there in Wadsworth. So then we went to Coonley Motorsports Park, which is a badass motorsports park. Big shout out to the Coonley family. That is a really badass event. There's semi-drag racing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that shit before, but that is super fucking sick. These dudes are just out there clicking and banging gears in their semi-trucks, doing tractor pulls. Again, it rained. We don't let the rain stop us. We kept it fully wide open. The boys sent it all day that day. Got to do a show on the drag strip, which was super badass. And then the next day, per usual, the sun pops out. How you doing? And we kept that thing rocking and rolling over there. So that was super badass. Milwaukee 120th. Got to do that. That was quite the experience as well. CJ Barham did a burnout on the bar at Fuel, which was super sick. I know you guys saw that video. Getting the bagger up on the bar was a challenge a little bit in itself. We got permission to do that, and like, who gives you permission to put a bagger on the bar? The owner of Fuel. So, thank you. That was super sick. You can hear the dude ripping by right now. It's all about motors, baby. So, CJ's bike on a bar, burnout, left our mark. Milwaukee was an incredible experience. Burned it down in the streets. There's like a big no street riding thing there. We didn't listen to that. I remember at one point there was a kid at a stop sign and he was just revving it up, and I ran over to him and I was like, load it up and dump it. And so he starts doing a burnout at the stop sign. He gets in trouble. I didn't mean to hype him up, but that's what we do. We hype each other up. We build each other up. So I hyped this kid up. Cop comes straight over to me, bald dude, big dip in. He's got a fat lip in. Tatted up, just like looking like a premium cop out there in Milwaukee. And he was like, I saw what you did. You know, I thought I was going to be in trouble that day. He's like, I know you guys are. We know what you're doing. You're not doing a show out here. We were supposed to do a stunt show right outside the bar out there. And it didn't happen. The show didn't happen, but we ended up going out there and burning it down anyways. The cops were a little bit frustrated and flustered out there. Then we went to the back and did a couple of shows back there, some demos back there for the folks, and just burned it down. And Milwaukee 120th was one hell of an experience. Again, if you guys have the opportunity to go to Milwaukee and check that out, obviously it's the birth and home of Harley Davidson, so go check that out. Clockworks, went to Clockworks. Big shout out Clockworks. That's like, I think, my third year doing that one too now. Always a great time there. A lot of love for the whole Clockworks crew. Great product too. If you need a windshield for your bagger, hit up Clockworks because they'll get you dialed in. Sturgis, didn't hang out in Sturgis too long. Went there. The fellas burned it down, obviously, a bunch. Went there for a day. And then I flew off and did a 6-day tour for Dialed Action Sports, which was super awesome, doing BMX shows. Announcer guy, TM. Yeah, great experience. Got to do shows in front of kids and did some different festivals and stuff. Just a cool experience. Some more practice for me as an announcer guy, which is something that I think, 10,000 hours, right? If you want to be good at anything or if you want to progress, you can't be afraid to put yourself out there. So you just got to send it. So Sturgis was cool, was there for a day, said what's up to some people. Sturgis is one of those experiences, though, I'm sure you guys all know, that once you experience it a few times, it's like, I'm good. Sturgis is badass. I definitely have had a great time every time that I've been there. I will go back. I would love to go back, but it's definitely one of those things that if there's not a show there for us and it's just going to be there to just ride and like people party and stuff, I don't know. I think there's other things that I'd rather do, but definitely put Sturgis on your list. If you have not been to Sturgis, make sure you guys go to Sturgis. Sturgis is super badass. I had a great time at Sturgis. The fellas did fucking awesome skate jam, which is in Hollywood. It's a skateboarding event that the fellas got invited to do toe-ins. So, like, the skateboarders set up a car. It was a cop car. And they were getting towed in by CJ, Tallboy, and Mikey. And they were jumping over this cop car, and it was super sick. And they jammed all day. I wasn't there, but from the looks of it, it was super badass experience. The boys absolutely burned it the fuck down. Ended up having, like, SWAT there and all these cops. Mikey decides to get on his Harley and jump over the cop car. Ended up pulling up onto it, doing a burnout. Just absolutely in sicko mode. So the fellas did that. Big shout out to fucking awesome skate jam. That was cool to seeing the fellas do that. It's just been an awesome ride this year. They went out to, the fellas went out to Indy and Larry Block Party in New York. I have yet to be to that one too. That's a big East Coastin' thing. They usually rip out there and burn that shit down. Looked like a super awesome experience. The fellas were there. Concrete Cowboy ended up. Looked fun. I think I'm going to have to make it out to that one next year for sure. So, Indian Larry, Block Party, I'm coming for you next year, 2024. How you doing? Hey, yo, guys, real quick. Just want to go over this with you guys real fast. A Stinger trailer saves you loading time and storage space. Whether you're hauling off-road bikes, big baggers, or ATVs. Before Stringer came along, it was a challenge to load them into or off your hauling vehicle. A Stinger trailer easily hooks up to your car, SUV, or pickup in no time. With its low-profile wheelbase design and ground-level tailgate loading ramp, makes loading your 2, 3, or 4-wheelers a time-saving breeze unmatched by any other carrier or trailer. Best of all, once you arrive at your final destination, whether it be a driveway, motel parking, campsite, underground, or home garage, you simply roll your ride off your Stinger trailer and fold it up for final storage. The pin release system of the Stinger trailer conveniently converts a full-size trailer into an upright folded trailer with a small storage footprint comparable to the same size of a lawnmower. So you want a hassle-free loading experience that saves you time and storage space to haul your 2, 3, or 4 motorcycles, consider getting a Stinger trailer. So I decided to sell it to somebody that would be here, that would appreciate it, that would take care of it. So I dialed that thing in and sold it. And so the bike life scene in Hawaii is actually bigger than I thought it was. In the North Shore, they have a track. They have a lot of trails there. And so I am fully planning and intending on getting like a Supermoto Sun with some dirt wheels that I can swap over on it. Thinking about going street legal, but then again, a lot of the guys there that ride like 2-strokes and stuff on the streets, just like all the other inner cities here, stateside. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna buy, and that's like kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to that. New bike. How you doing? I was considering buying a brand new CRF 450L, which is still not completely out of the cards, but I don't know if I want a payment. Payments are whack, and I don't have the capital to do that. I got some money stacked up, and I'm looking for a bike. And like I said, there's some people in the bike scene. I've already reached out to them, and that is the one thing that I can say about the bike life that is absolutely unreal and amazing, is that everywhere that I've gone and traveled to, whether I have a bike or not, I end up with a bike somehow. Whether it's a borrowed bike or a loaner or whatever it is. And you end up meeting people from all over the country. And now everywhere that I go and everywhere I travel to, I know folks already. And it's all love. It's sick. And it's definitely something that I'm super thankful for the bike life community. So I'm going to tap in with some people over there. I'm going to try to get me a good deal on a bike and try to eventually have 2. So when homies come out, we can surf, go ride some motorcycles, hit the trails, hit the streets. Looking forward to having a bike that I can push myself for Joe wheelies and Joe stunts a little bit more. I wasn't as opt to stunt the Harley because I'd get too fucking depressed when I would break it and I'd have to fix it. Harley stunt riding is a little pricey. I'm looking forward to having a new bike out there on the island and just being healthy and sober. I've been paddling out, trying to get my surf on. Surfing is fucking challenging. The hardest part is definitely paddling out. You know, you just like by the time you get out there, you're just smoked. And surfing behind boats, hydrofoiling behind boats. I thought that surfing would come a little bit more natural, but we're getting it. We're going to figure it out. We're going to dial it in. So looking forward to that. The island life, definitely beautiful experience. I got a interview opportunity. Check this out. This is exciting. I got an interview opportunity next week to be a tour guide. Joey Tour Guides at Kailua Ranch. Kailua Ranch, FYI. I live in Kailua. In Kailua, it's a ride up the coast, and then up here in the northeastern part of it, there's Kailua Ranch, which Kailua Ranch is where the original Jurassic Park films, a lot of the scenes were filmed. So you already know, super beautiful place, and they do ATV tour guides. So I got my fingers crossed. I got an interview. I think that it's a great way for me when I'm not announcing, be able to do something else that I, love to do and passionate about by taking people out on ATVs. Joe Tour Guide, come through. Could you imagine for a second your family and you go to Hawaii and you guys end up at Kailua Ranch and you're like, which tour should we do? Should we do the zipline tour? Should we do the fucking e-bike tour? Should we do the ATV tour? Should we do the horseback riding tour? I don't know. What should we do? And boom. You guys make the right decision, and you're on the ATV tour. And I pull up, and I'm like, what's up? I'm your fucking tour guide today. And there's only one rule, to have fun. I think that is something that I'm going to be great at. So hopefully it's get a new bike when I get back. Fucking nail this interview opportunity, which if I got the interview, it's in the bag. I'm not trying to sound arrogant or cocky, but I'm just letting you know that if I have the interview, it's pretty much a wrap. So get the bike, get the job, and then it's a beautiful coastal ride every day there and back to an ATV tour guide opportunity job thing. in the meantime while I'm waiting for the 2024 season to come around. So wish me luck. It's going down, and just some exciting and awesome things to look forward to. I'm super, super excited about it. One of the things about this podcast, and it's crazy. It's a challenge to be back here. Definitely a challenge to do it alone. I don't know if I've ever done one alone. Now that I think back on it, I've always had a guest or a co-host. And so just chopping it up with you guys, the listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're on your way to work right now, if you're at work, if you're at home, whatever you're doing, I hope that you're having a great fucking day. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're happy. I hope that if you're not doing well, if you're not happy, that listening to this podcast cheers you up a little bit, motivates you a little bit, brightens your day a little bit. And just know that you have the power and the skills to get yourself out of a funk. And if you're not in a funk, keep fucking killing it. It's crazy to me how many people are not happy for other people. If you see somebody gaining success, that shouldn't make you upset. I think too many people get upset with others when they gain success or gain traction because they're not happy with them own selves and where they're at. And that, to me, is just fucking whack. I think that people need to focus more on themselves and just be stoked for other people. When I see other people winning, I see other people, whether they're starting to get better at riding their Harleys or they start their own podcast or they, comedians that I know that when I met them or they did a show with me that weren't having very much success and now they're selling out huge box office shows. It's like, I just am so stoked for them. They're doing well in their lives. They're pushing themselves to be somebody, to be the best versions of them. Like, you should just be stoked. And if you're not stoked for them, I think it's more or less because you're not stoked with yourself. And if you're not stoked with yourself, fucking make some changes. It's not that hard. You can do it. We all can do it. I had a homie that said something on one of the social medias recently. It was Too Slick out of Denver, out of Colorado. And he made a post. He was riding FMX Freestyle. He's been riding his Harley. He's been killing it on his Harley. And he made a post about him riding freestyle motocross, which is awesome. Proud of you, Slick, for doing that. Super dope. But he wrote in there, and basically what he said is that he's never been afraid to be the squid at anything. Meaning that whether he was riding his Harley and trying to become better at being a Harley stunt rider, or now he's hopping back on his dirt bike and he's hitting the metal ramp to dirt and he's learning tricks and he's not very good at it. He's not worried about what other people are thinking about him or worried about him not looking cool or being the most stylish dude. It's like everybody fucking sucked at one point. Even the best people in the business at one point were trash. Think about Uncle Seabear for a second. Think about it. At one point, Uncle Jeff, Seabear Stunts, was not a good stunt rider. At one point, he was squidding out. And what did he do? He got to the point that he's at now because he never allowed it to make him feel like he shouldn't be doing it because he was trash at it. He wanted to be one of the best. He wanted to prove to himself and prove to other people that he was an incredible stunt rider. And now he's living the dream, riding his bike professionally, making his living, driving his car, golfing all the time. And so you don't be afraid, is what I'm getting at, to be bad at something. When I first started announcing shows or when I first started doing this podcast, look, I'm still not even that fucking great at it, but I'm doing it. I'm not letting myself or other people who aren't maybe thinking that it's good or thinking that it's great, I'm not letting them deter me. If anything, I'm motivated and challenging myself because it's something that I'm passionate at and something that I love to do. So be like Slick. Don't be afraid to be sucky, and don't compare yourself to other people's shit, other people's videos, and root each other on, cheer each other on. You can see some shit that you like, and guess what? You can click that you fucking like that shit. You can drop a comment on somebody's stuff and say something positive and lift them up and root them on. That's okay. Just so you guys know. It's not cool to not do that. Because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, that's actually pretty fucking sick. And then you're like, I'm going to say something. No, I'm not going to say something because no, that's whack. I think that's hilarious. I think that you should write that comment, hit that heart, and show people love. Make people feel better. A smile a day goes a long fucking way. Too Slick, keep killing it. Uncle Bear, you already know the fucking vibes. I Wanted to take some time in this podcast as well today to do some honorable mentions, some On a Sick One podcast honorable mentions. One of the issues that I spoke about earlier, no excuses, play like a champ, but here we are again talking about it. Conflict of scheduling for this show, whether it be with Jay and I scheduling for the studio, because I love being in a professional atmosphere. I love having Jay help me out. It's definitely something that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I like this setting. I like being able to come into a studio and do it this way. So whether it's him and I having scheduling conflicts, which doesn't happen a lot, he's always on point. It's mostly me. But the other thing that's really, really challenging is getting the homies here. The riders that you guys have seen on the show. We've had, let's recap it a little bit. We've had Junkyard on this show. We've had CJ Barham on the show. We've had Highside Joe on this show. We've had Brian636 on this show. We've had Jesse Ryan, and who else have we had? We've had Jay Brew on this show. We've had just an awesome, awesome guest list. I know I'm missing a couple of people here, but we've had a great guest list, and it's been challenging to have those folks on the show because their schedule is super fucking crazy. My schedule's crazy. The studio schedule's crazy. One of the things for me that's special, and I don't know if you guys agree with this or if you even give a shit, but having the guests here in the studio versus like virtual, to me, it's like super dope to have them in the studio. I don't even really want to fucking do the episode if they're not in the studio. To me, it adds some authenticity, and love taking people around Reno, showing them around and doing different things. And so one of the people for the honorable mentions that I want to talk about is Corey Tazinski. Corey, how you doing? Corey is out of Austin, Texas. I had the pleasure of going there this year in Austin, Texas, and doing MotoGP with him again for Dalb Action Sports. He got to stunt ride his Harley at MotoGP at Circuit of the Americas, which is an incredible experience. I got to do that twice. Just such a dope experience that I got to do with Corey. Corey, I absolutely loved that. Thank you so much for doing that with me again this year. Corey just won the brawl. Yeah. Clap it up for Corey. Great job, Corey. A lot of hard work and dedication, obviously, there. Corey, when I first saw him onto the scene, was definitely a talented and skilled individual, but by no means do I think that he was ready to win the brawl. There's so many talented guys at this point. There's so many up-and-comers in the Harley stunt world, and it, to me, is just getting bigger and bigger. I don't think it's slowing down. There's a lot of people that are pushing to be a dope-ass stunt rider, and more power to all you guys. I think it's super dope. I love Harley stunts, stunt riding in general, extreme sports in general. So Corey, congratulations on the brawl. I definitely want to highlight you and honorable mention you on this. Corey was actually going to be the guest here. He ended up going out to Beat the Heat, which why wouldn't he? If I had the opportunity to go to Beat the Heat and ride with all the boys out there, I would definitely do that. Big shout out B-Rup. I think they had a very successful Beat the Heat again this year. But Corey was going to be here, and him and I have tried to coordinate and schedule a podcast together probably for like 6 or 7 episodes. So I don't even know. It's been a while. And again, it's been just scheduling conflicts. He's so busy. He has his business specific suspension, which in my personal opinion is just the premier and top of the line Harley Davidson suspension. There's a lot of different dudes running it now. And so if you guys need to get your suspension dialed in, don't be afraid to hit up Corey. Ship him your suspension. He will build it to your specifications and send it back, and you'll be fucking having the best suspension in the game. Corey's just been killing it out there with his business, traveling, winning brawls, and so we're going to get him on this show. Corey's always been a big supporter of the On a Sick One podcast. Thanks, dude. Love you, dog. So a big honorable mention to Corey. Again, we'll clap it up for Corey Tazinski. Again, congratulations on that brawl. Great job. Another honorable mention that I want to bring to the table here on the On a Sick One podcast, episode 15, is my son's godfather, Rebel Dean, a.k.a. Braden Hibden. Rebel Dean is the dude that got me into Harleys in the first place. Like, obviously, as a kid, all my friends' dad had them and shit. Like, my uncles had them and, like, they were around. Harleys were there. But Braden had a Dyna. He had an '08 Super Glad that he obtained through trading bikes and selling bikes. I remember I came over to his house when he still lived here in Reno, and I walked into his garage and it had like this super crazy sparkle flame paint job with like red pinstripe, and it was black. You know, it was crazy paint job on this bike. And it didn't have much. It had like bars risers and like an OG Thunder header on it. But to me, it was like the first time that I had actually in person seen a stunted looking new age Harley Davidson. And so I was hooked. And so he pushed me to end up getting my first Harley and the Green Goblin that I just ended up selling. So huge shout out to Rebel Dean for getting me to the Harley scene. It's come a long way. And I want to mention you in this show because I'm super proud of you, bud. You moved to Denver. You picked up welding as a career. You're killing it there. And you just competed in 2 back-to-back brawls, which I remember when we first got into the whole Harley stunt world, that was something that, you know, was a goal of yours, or something that was just something that you wanted to do and wanted to obtain eventually. And congratulations, my friend. Rebel Dean, my son's godfather, David Dean, Doug's godfather. Congratulations on your accomplishments, and that's why you're an honorable mention in the 15th episode of the On a Sick One podcast, my boy. So, again, great job. Super proud of you. I got a couple more folks that I want to honorable mention in this show. My boy Holden 340. He lives up in Southlake. I think they just got a new house down in the Gardnerville area, but it's basically Reno-ish area. But him and his girl are having their first child, which is exciting. They're having a boy. So congratulations to you on that. And dude, your stunt riding is the other reason why you made the honorable mention list on the 15th episode, because you're pushing yourself, man, and you're doing things that, like, I look at your videos one day, you know, you're doing seat standers to combos to drop into a knee knocker to sit down scrape to side saddle, and your drifting is just out of control, like swap. So I just wanted to say congratulations on the baby. Congratulations on pushing yourself and getting better as a stunt rider. I'm proud of you. Great fucking job. The other guy, last but not least, little motherfucker. I don't even, you know what? It's crazy because I got a lot of love for this fool, and I didn't at first. At first, I wanted to smash his fucking skull. I thought that he was just like, I don't know, he just got underneath all of my fingernails like fucking dirt. Or no, like grease. Like I had long nails for no reason, and he's just the schlack grease underneath him. But I love him to death now. He is one of my team members on the Concrete Cowboys. He is a do-it-all kind of guy. Like the kid literally does everything from motor swaps to stunting to driving the truck to fixing the trailer to whatever the team may need. Mikey is always there to assist and facilitate and help the squad in whatever we need. And so that is one of the reasons why Bike Life Mikey is the 4th guy on the honorable mention of the 15th episode of the On a Sick One podcast. Mikey, great job, dude. You know, you made it into Thrasher magazine. Big shout out Chopsky. The Concrete Cowboys went to that fucking awesome skate jam, and you blew my fucking mind with the sporty Harley Davidson jump, just like everybody else's minds were blown there in Hollywood. And you and the boys burned it down after that. And that iconic photo of you is something that is just, it's an incredible feed, dude. You loaded it up, dumped it, sent it. You're in Thrasher magazine. There's a poster now that you guys can go get. Chopsky obviously killed it with all the photos out there. Just so cool to see Mikey killing it, dude. So proud of you, bud. Great job. You're doing a great fucking job. We appreciate you, you little motherfucker. Keep killing it. Appreciate you so much. So yeah, man, those are the honorable mentions, and I'm super thankful to be back here in your guys' speakers. You guys listen to me and support me. I can't tell you how much it means to me, man. I gotta say, I got lost in the sauce there for a little while. I think I was just making poor decisions through drinking and you know, just doing dumb shit and not being myself. And I didn't realize that I can be just as hype and just as fun and just as dope without getting all fucked up. So I'm just on my own path now. I'm going to continue to be sober and be healthy. I am an athletic dude, so I'm going to be surfing. I'm going to get another bike. I'm going to just do dope shit. And I want to push you guys and inspire you guys and motivate you guys to continue to do the same. You know, if you have some goals that you're trying to reach, you got some things on your plate that you want to get after, if not now, then when? If you're trying to get sober, if not now, then when? If you want to be a better rider and you're not going to the lot, if not now, then when? You know what I'm saying? Fucking do it. Motivate yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. If you want to wake up early in the morning, you got to get your ass up. If you want to put in the hours on your bike, you got to fucking put in the hours on your bike. Like, you get what you give. And that is just how it is. You do good, good's gonna come back to you. And the unexpected and the shit that goes sideways, that's just life. That's the way that it is. And it's not gonna change. So I encourage all of you guys to just be the best versions of yourself. Thank you so much for tapping in. The 15th episode of the On a Sick One podcast. It feels really, really fucking great to be back. Big shout out to my team, Concrete Cowboys. Keep your eyes out because we're gonna just keep fucking shit up. 2024 is going to be an awesome year. I'm not sure when the next episode is going to be, but I can tell you guys right now that can't stop, won't stop. I will be continuing my show. Big shout out to Mike Miller. Thank you so much for supporting and sponsoring my podcast. Big shout out to Lifestyle Studios. Appreciate you guys for having me in here tonight. And last but not least, big shout out to Stinger Trailers. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and my endeavors. Thank you guys so much. Fucking stay motivated, be happy, be thankful to be alive. If you're going through it, pick up your fucking phone, call somebody, check in on somebody. Fucking have a great day. Peace and love. On a sick one. Soberly. Bye. Sheesh.